So from chop to breakout, this is certain things that you have to pay attention to and be patient and just wait for setups to take the proper trades when it comes to the market. So guys, today we chopped a little bit in the morning, but you have to be patient. Look for the setups, which we definitely saw setups, and then we were able to take it for complete profit. Let me go ahead and introduce myself. My name is George, and I day trade options. We strictly trade options. So if you like what you're hearing here, if you take a couple of the trades that I actually called out every single day on as far as recap, go ahead and drop them in the comments. And make sure you subscribe as well. So with that, I'm going to go over the market as far as what I'm seeing, what we took as far as trades today, and make sure you wait till the end so you could get a good trade setup. I'm going to show you a good trade setup for tomorrow, coming into tomorrow. So, all right, let's go ahead, share the screen, and get going. So right here, we have UNH. And UNH we took today as far as a quick trade on UNH. I was waiting for UNH to break to the downside. Completely, in a sense, disappointed of not seeing a complete drop on it. But with this, I was able to take 10% out the trade. And right here, we saw where we was breaking down on it. I went over UNH yesterday for a trade, but didn't go down to the 300 like I was expected. But right here, I saw the breakdown on it and took that trade for a 10% gain on it, right? So right here, we have the day. And we came up, I was looking for it to come up and reject here first, but it didn't reject all the way. It didn't come up all the way to reject. It popped up first, which was a good sign. And then once I saw the break right here, I took it to come down and we took 10% on it. And that was a good trade, right? 10% on that. That was a good trade for me as far as that. I didn't see where there was a lot of volume in it. So that's why it was crazy. I told people, hey, make sure you take in profit, because if you look on the time frame, it was a little bit like it didn't want to move, right? It wasn't moving as much. So with that, I was like, all right, make sure you're taking some type of profit off the table, which we popped up back. And then we just consolidated all day. Can UNH move more to the downside? Yes, I believe it can, especially where it's sitting right now. It's still under the 200. We gapped down right here in pre-market. So right now we're down as far as pre-market, almost $1. So we still can continue. So if we break below this, we still can continue down to the original range, which is at 300. And then I have, of course, my retracement, which is a 236, is right down here at that 299, which I will say 300 level, followed by continuously down, right? Because we gapped up huge on UNH. The next trade I took was QQQ, right? Saw QQQ. Like I said, guys, I'm doing a challenge, right? And I call it the Elfrida challenge because of my mom. My mom passed in February. So with that, wanted to do something a little bit different. You will see people where they're growing small accounts, but how they're growing small accounts is completely different. I am just doing where I'm doing 10% on a trade every day to just show consistency more than anything else. Yes. Could I take a 30% trade? Could I take a 100% trade? Absolutely. But with this, what I'm doing is once we get to a certain level, as far as once I'm over 10% on the trade, I immediately push my stop loss up, and if it comes back down and take me out, it take me out. But I'm putting my take profit at 30 or 40%, just so if I get that quick pop. But I don't want to be up 15% and then it come back down and I'm down and not taking profit at the 10%, just leaving room. So if it pushes, I still get it, right? So today on QQQ, saw the trade. And I told everyone, hey, I waited for the first 15 minutes and I told everyone, listen, we're looking for calls on QQQ. But afterwards, I saw where we're hitting on this range. And even though we broke to the upside, I drew this line before we broke to the upside. And I say, guys, we're within this range. And then if we break this 15-minute to the upside and continue, then we're looking for calls. But we break right back down into this range right here, into the wedge, because we have right here where we have higher lows and we were creating lower highs. So we were within this wedge as far as chop wise. So we pull back down and break the 15, but I told everyone, hey, I'm not getting into the 15 yet as far as for calls because it broke. And you could see over here that I actually took the trade right on, I think it's the same time I took the trade, I got out. So this trade lasted, let's see how long, sorry. Let's see how long this trade it lasted right here. Because it shows when I get in the trade. The trade literally lasted for 5 minutes. These are 5 minute candles. So this trade literally lasts for 5 minutes. Let me go to a 1 minute time frame just to see. Right here. Okay. So you're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes. Right. So I was in this trade for 4 minutes, did little over 10% on it, and then it pulled back and it took me out. Right. But did 4 minutes in this trade, took 10% out the market. Not bad, right? But what I saw and why I took this trade, let me go back and show you why I took the trade. If I could find it. Where we at? Where we at? Right here. All right, cool. So right here, I saw that we were consolidating within a 15-minute time frame. And because we're consolidating within a 15-minute time frame, I didn't want to take the trade. Now, I watched as we break down on this first 5 minute. I watched us break down, but we wasn't breaking the levels that I needed to as far as the contract side, so I waited. This 15-minute come in, and even though we cracked this 15-minute right here, we still consolidated. Not much happened, so I still didn't get in the trade. When I actually get in the trade was right on the break of this. Once we broke right here, we was able to take what it was a 603 put, and we took the 603 put. I told everyone, hey, we're coming down to the wedge, which this is our line, right? So I said we're coming down and we will test this trend line. And when we test this trend line, we have to break through the trend line, close below it for it to be bearish, right? So we have to close below that, the new candle come in, reject the trend line and continue down, which it never did. As soon as we came down here, I said, hey guys, make sure you're taking profit, which if you look on a 5 minute time frame, we touch it a few times. So I was like, make sure you're taking profit right here, okay? Because we were just touching right there and nothing was happening because we was out of the trade, and I was looking at that point to see if we need to get back in, right? And then when I saw the 15-minute time frame, 15-minute time frame created this candle right here. And then I said, all right, guys, we're breaking back to the upside and we will go back up and test right here. I told them we're going to bounce within this range right here. We could bounce within this range till 1 o'clock, I believe. Yeah, 1:30, right? If we don't stay within this range, we have to break out, right? We have to break out of this range. And once we break out, we can continue up, or if we break down, we could continue down. So once they see the breakout, that's where we actually, you see that big move. Now, this was after 11 o'clock. If you notice, right at 11 o'clock, this ended. I saw the move when this was taking place, and I say, hey guys, you can take trades if you want to come up here, but I didn't jump into another trade. I called 3 trades max for the day, and I already called 2. So that was the trades. And I didn't want to force anything because it looked choppy at that time, right? So even though it came up here, people waited. I jumped off the call, right? But people still took it afterwards. You could see in our Discord, people took trades and took it for over 100% going up as far as that. So great trade overall once it break out. But this is the reason why people have to pay attention and look and see that, hey, if you don't notice certain things, maybe you should just sit out and not trade at all. But for me, knowing that we bounced off of here and broke to the upside, knowing that it was going to go up here, should I have taken a trade? I could have, but sometimes you just, again, I didn't want to call another trade. I only called 3 trades for the day. I figure I called 2 trades. They were profitable. Didn't need to force anything at that time. So we popped right back up, right? So those were the 2 trades that I called. I actually took another trade, which is a 3rd trade outside, which was Mu. Saw Mu or Micron to the upside, and I took Micron. My wife actually closed it out. Because we was cooking lunch while we was on our live, and she put she just put take profit in. We just got a signal that the trade was closed. But I literally saw a good setup on Micron. I saw that we broke above the 1 hour. We consolidated right here, broke above the 1 hour. So I took it. I took a 412.50 call, right? So I took a 412.50 call, and it broke to the upside, gave us profit, and it continued. This was over 100% trade as well. But again, we just set our take profit in, and then it took us out. So again, you just have to learn to follow your setup, follow your rules, and take money out the market, whether it's the 10% that I can easily show you. So right here, the account is now at $1,418. Profit today was $99 on this particular account. I transferred $1,000 in this account, started Monday, right? And now just taking 10% every day, just showing consistency over time, right? So once we get the account to a certain amount, then I'll start trading more as far as doubling up the account. So now instead of using $1,000 per trade, I'll be using $2,000 per trade, and you'll see me grow the account that way, right? So that's that part. Now, as far as tomorrow, what am I looking at? There's a lot of stocks that broke out to the upside. I mentioned Amazon actually being bullish when I think yesterday or the day before, right? We broke the monthly to the upside right here, and we're very bullish on Amazon, right? So some of the stocks are already pushing to the upside now. Yes, we gapped up on Amazon, right? But now we're above the 200 and we're looking bullish. We just closed this gap that was created since February, right? So that gap just closed. So in a sense, can we pull back? Yes, we can pull back. But now we're right above this trend line, right? Before we break down and then reject right here, now we're above this trend line. So now we're creating higher highs on this point. So now we're bullish. So we need to pull back and probably test this line and then continue upwards as far as Amazon. But we are bullish on the monthly time frame for Amazon. As you could see right here, we're bullish on Amazon. Now for SPY, I believe we still did not break SPY yet for the monthly. I still have my trend line right here. So we can reject. This is a line right here that we can reject off of. So I'm paying attention to SPY and see what will happen right here as far as for SPY, because we can reject. Actually, let me fix this right here. There we go. So we can reject off this line, touching this line and reject. We have 1, 2 touches right here. We could do a third touch right here, reject from that and come back down, because again, we still did not break the monthly. We're looking to see if we would break the monthly before anything. Remember, we gapped up. So in a sense, we gapped up on a lot of the stocks because of the news, right? Today, again, is it the chicken or the egg, right? We consolidated, and then right afterwards, we got news that, President Trump spoke to Israel. So with that, what happens? Right afterwards, the news came in and pushed the market even higher. So these are the things that will push the market higher, because now there's not a lot of, now people are figuring, all right, there's no war going on. So with that, market is bullish, right? But what happens over the weekend? Now we could see something crazy happen over the weekend, right? Somebody could come into some type of disagreement, which can reject, which can show you that at this point, this can just completely drop down, okay? This can completely drop down based on that. So we will see over time, or see what will happen. The market will show itself, right? What we're looking for is opportunities regardless of whenever it shows itself. We look at opportunities as far as in the day and see whether it's good or bad. Regardless, we'll take it up or down. I don't care if the market is bullish or bearish. There's always opportunities in the market to play, right? On QQQ, QQQ is the same thing. We haven't broke the monthly yet. Very close to breaking the monthly. So we will see what happens. Now we have CPI coming in tomorrow, which is going to be huge. If CPI comes in negative, then we might see something to where we pull back down or gap back down, creating that bearish sentimental. Or right here, we could just play within this range all month at that point. We're not sure, But again, we have to play what the chart gives us or what the market gives us. We're not here to guess. We're here to watch and look for our setups. And once the setups show themselves, then we'll take the trade based on that. But just showing you QQQ, showing you SPY, we haven't break above the month yet to say that we're bullish, completely bullish. But even if we break above the month, you have to realize that we have a huge gap that happened right here. And more comfortably is seeing where we come down. If we come down and even bounce off the 200, right now we just gap above the 200. But if we come down and bounce off the 200, creating some type of support right there and push back up, that will be great as well. Not all the gaps will fill. If you notice, there's gaps everywhere on QQQ. So while some people might be saying, oh, there's a gap right here, this bad boy don't have to get filled till months, right? For months. We still have gaps down here that need to be filled as well. And this is in last year in August. So gaps don't have to be filled right away. When it comes to that, you just have to play what the market gives you as well, like I said. Now, going into tomorrow, what kind of setups am I seeing? I'm seeing a lot of bullish sentimental going in, but also I want to point out today, if you took Palantir based on last night, what I told you guys, you could have made some money on Palantir. I said, hey, if we break up below this day, then we're going to be bearish, right? But also we broke below the month, right? And I showed the month and we broke below that month and we dropped. Okay, so that was good, a good trade on Palantir as well. If you took that trade that I talked about last night, so a couple opportunities that I showed UNH, I showed Palantir. Those were opportunities. I also showed Microsoft, and Microsoft is showing an opportunity. So I want to talk about Microsoft because Microsoft is now showing an opportunity to the upside, right? I talked about Microsoft dropping down right here, and then if you look, we break that low, we drop down. But I said, hey, we can create higher lows. We're still creating higher lows right here. If you notice, we are creating higher lows. So we're still bullish, guys. You have higher lows that's being created right here. So we're still bullish regardless. In on the daily time frame, unless we break structure, right? We talk about the market being bullish on the weekly. We see that we break above the week, we come up here, we hit targets in a sense. But now on the daily time frame, we're creating higher lows and we're now creating higher highs. It's the monthly that we have to break for us to say, all right, we're completely bullish on another time frame, which the monthly I believe is going to be a heck of a ride for us to come all the way up here. But when is earnings? Earnings is not until the 29th of this month. Okay, so can we get back up to that high? We probably can break that high depending on what earnings looks like. And then we could be bullish for next month, or we look bullish, but at the end of the month, right? But right now we're showing bullish sentiment as far as higher lows on here, and we just created higher highs on there. So for tomorrow, looking at Microsoft, what are we looking at? Now, most likely we're going to gap up some on Microsoft in the morning. Hopefully, with news that come in tomorrow, hopefully we come back down a little bit. So in that case, we have CPI coming in tomorrow. So it will be very difficult for me to even say, all right, I'm going to swing something into tomorrow because CPI is going on. So even if there's a good setup, I don't want, like, it's okay. I will wait for the opportunity to present itself tomorrow because we have CPI, which is going to be something very important, and that comes out at 8:30, right? So I don't want to get caught in it, even though this look like a good swing to the upside, which we're up right now, and some people might be happy. But what happens when news come in tomorrow? It could be that, hey, it could play into the setup or it could come back down. Either way, I'm looking for Microsoft to move to the upside. What I would love to see before I jump in the trade, I would love to see us possibly open up below the day high. If we open up below the day high and come back down and test this support from previous day low, come back down here, or even retrace 50% from this day high. So between here, retrace 50% off of here. So we drop down to 370, which would be a nice level, right? and then bounce off of there and then break back to the upside, that will be an amazing setup. Would we get that? Possibly, possibly not, but we will play what the charts give us. Now, if we gap up tomorrow and we open up flat, right, because CPI come in flat for some reason and we just open up flat right here, then that's fine as well. I still want to see some type of retracement, and I'll be watching the 15-minute candle at that point to see some type of retracement. Once I see a reversal, probably on a 5 or a 15 back to the upside, I may take it back to the upside because I will be a little bit bullish, but I would want to see it break the previous high, our current day high, before I jump in it as well. So those are things that I'm looking at for Microsoft as far as to the upside. There's a couple opportunities. One of the next one that I'll show you, I normally give one, but I'm feeling in the mood today. It's gonna be Nvidia. Nvidia consolidated today within a certain range, but we're looking bullish as well on Nvidia, right? And the reason why is I like the fact that we're using the 200 as a support level. I saw this come down today, and I was like, even though if it breaks, it will be good. But I'm like, I'm not looking at Nvidia. I didn't look at Nvidia at all today for trade. I looked at it and I'm like, even if it breaks, I'm not taking it. The reason why, it's hitting on the 200. It will be crazy for me to look and take a short on a 200, because at the end of the day, if I do my journaling and I come back and I lose on a trade, I'll be like, okay, what happened? Why did you lose on the trade? Or what happened when you take the trade? What happened? Well, I took a put or I took a short when it's hitting the 200. Doesn't make any sense, right? We're hitting on a major support level. So at that point, I wasn't looking for shorts. Immediately afterwards, we consolidated just like anything else for a while, and then we bounced right up. But even on the first 15, if you notice, we test that 200 and then we bounce right up off of that. So for Nvidia going into tomorrow, I'm a little bit bullish on Nvidia. That means that we're bullish on QQQ as well, right? But I'm bullish on Nvidia to the upside. Again, want to see, right now we're down a little bit on Nvidia, which is good. But even if we come down, test a 50% retracement or test 50% of today and then break to the upside, then I'll be targeting 185 followed by 187, right? As far as a move for Nvidia. Nvidia have a $5 ATR on it. It hasn't been moving that $5 range. Of recent, it's been moving like $3 or $4 on sometimes. So with that, you just have to pay attention. Tomorrow is Friday, so if you're trading 0DTE contracts, you want to make sure that you're taking profit and not saying, okay, I want 500 or 300% profit. Take profit, make sure you're scaling out, right? Remember, do not chase, guys. Remember, don't fall for FOMO. Have the right mindset, be patient, follow your rules. Apart from that, make sure you like and subscribe if you find value from this. Again, if you take any of the trades that I call out, drop it in the comments and let me know, all right? So safe trading for tomorrow. Be responsible. Again, this is not financial advice. This is just my opinion. All right, guys. Peace out.